Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I'm really glad you're here today because we're going to dive into a pretty amazing devotional. And honestly, we're going to uncover what I like to call a real-life superpower. I'm talking about a superpower that can literally change the whole vibe of your classroom, your playground, and your home. It's called Christ-like sympathy. I know, it sounds like a really big phrase, but stick with me because by the end of this, you're going to be an absolute expert at passing the warmth to others.
But right off the bat, I want you to think about something. What actually happens when you mess up? Think about a time you had a truly bad day. Like maybe you bombed a huge homework assignment, or maybe you accidentally dropped your entire lunch tray in the cafeteria in front of everybody, or you just made a big mistake that you instantly regretted. How did that feel? And more importantly, how did you want other people to treat you in that exact moment? Did you want them to laugh, or point, or just walk away, or did you want someone to step up and be kind?
The truth is, we all stumble. Every single one of us. It doesn't matter who you are, everyone makes mistakes and just needs a little help sometimes. And you know what? That's exactly what the devotional we're looking at today is all about. It doesn't just point out that we make mistakes, it shows us exactly how we can help each other out when we inevitably do.
So let's kick things off by figuring out what true sympathy actually looks like in our day-to-day. What does it really mean to care?
Because before we can use this superpower, we kind of need to know what it is, right? The devotional gives us a very specific definition. Christ-like sympathy isn't just muttering a quick, "oh my bad" or "sorry" when you bump into someone in the hallway. It's way deeper than that. It is purely caring for and actively helping poor, suffering, struggling souls who make mistakes or feel totally discouraged. It means actually feeling a tug in your own heart and showing deep, genuine care for someone who is just having a really tough time.
There's actually a quote from the book of Romans in the Bible that nails this. It says, "We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves." Let's break that down a bit. If you're having a really strong, happy, totally awesome day, your job isn't just to keep all that happiness to yourself and only please yourself. Your actual job is to use your strength to help bear the weight, to help carry the heavy backpack, so to speak, of someone else's bad day.
It basically boils down to this. Perfect people, they do not need sympathy. And, spoiler alert, there are zero perfect people walking around anyway. Sympathy isn't for kids who have everything 100% figured out. It's specifically meant for struggling souls. It's for kids and adults who are tempted, who are sinning, who are messing up, and who are actively repenting and trying to do better. If you see someone struggling, that is your immediate signal to activate your sympathy superpower.
Now that we've got a handle on what sympathy is, let's talk about how we can use it to melt away some of those cold barriers we sometimes build up.
Because sometimes, let's be honest, when we're having a great day and we aren't the ones messing up, we can accidentally do something really unhelpful. We end up building this giant, cold wall of harshness and selfishness. The devotional actually calls this a pharisaical barrier. That's a massive word, but it just means acting kind of snooty or acting like you're way better than the kid who just made a mistake. When we judge others like that, we're basically building a freezing cold ice wall between us and them.
When we do that, we project this cold unapproachableness, just pure selfishness and harshness. And let's be real, nobody wants to hang out with an ice cube. But here's the cool part. God's grace acts like a warm, crackling campfire. The devotional says this grace completely melts that cold, unapproachable ice. It softens us, it subdues our pride, and it brings souls beautifully together.
So how do we make sure we're bringing the campfire and not the ice cube? Well, the secret to melting our own selfishness is actually super simple. Just remember your own flaws. Think about the times you've messed up. When you realize that you aren't perfect either, it snaps you out of staring in the mirror at yourself, and it helps you start looking toward Jesus instead.
And if we really want to master this superpower, we've got to look at the ultimate role model. Let's look at exactly how Jesus operated.
Think about who Jesus encountered and how he reacted. When he met people who were totally oppressed and down, he didn't lecture them. He showed this matchless tenderness. When he met people who were crying, he didn't tell them to just toughen up. He literally wept right alongside them. And when people were celebrating, he was right there cheering and rejoicing with them. Jesus didn't just stand on the sidelines like some referee. He dove right into what people were feeling.
The devotional points out that when we really look at his self-sacrificing love for messy, sinful people, it does incredible things to us. It expands your heart without measure. It genuinely helps you love all the children of God. And this is my favorite part. It actually blends opposite personalities together. That means God's love helps you show sympathy and be good friends even with the kid in class who has a completely opposite personality from you.
Okay, so we've seen the perfect example. But how do we take this and actually pass our blessings along on the playground or at home?
Well, think about the number 24. What does that mean here? The devotional reminds us that we receive blessings from God every single day, and honestly, every single hour. 24 hours a day, God is pouring out blessings and grace on us. And since our tanks are constantly being filled up 24/7, we have plenty of warmth to share with the people around us.
And to show our gratitude for those non-stop 24/7 blessings, the devotional says we must hand out our sympathy liberally. Liberally just means generously, like handing it out in huge amounts. And here's the kicker. We have to give it to everyone we meet, not just our best friends, not just a favored few. True sympathy is meant for absolutely everyone who crosses your path.
To make this really practical, here's a super simple 3-step action plan you can use literally today. Step 1, notice someone who is struggling. Just look around for a kid with weary feet. Someone who just looks tired or defeated. Step 2, don't just stare at them. Step up and use kindly words and acts. And step 3, make their path as easy as you want yours to be. Imagine you're walking on a trail full of tripping rocks. Wouldn't you love it if someone cleared those rocks for you? That's exactly what you're doing for them with your kindness.
There's this one quote from the text that I absolutely love. It says, "Have we blessings? Yes, we have. Well, Christ says, pass them along to others." I mean, because we have been given so much grace, we are called to trade grace for grace. You get to act as a human agent, almost like a relay runner, passing God's warmth and love straight down the line to the very next person who needs it.
Which brings us right to the end here and to a really important question. You now have this incredible superpower of Christ-like sympathy. You know how to melt those ice barriers and you know how to clear the path. So who in your life right now needs you to melt the ice? Who will you pass your blessings to today? Look around you, find someone who is struggling, and go pass the warmth. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see how you change the world with your new superpower.